So when I heard that you guys were starting Columbus, I was like, this is a great time because there's so much excitement around having your first event.
Hello, it's John Bernatovich, president and founder of Willory, and we continue on our coffee video discussions with DisruptHR Columbus speakers and sponsors, and I'm delighted today to be joined by Claire Petrie. Claire is an MBA, a PHR, a SHRM certified professional, and her practicing job or full-time gig is a senior manager of global talent acquisition operations at Unifrax. She's also the president and founder of Claire Petrie HR and Training. And amongst all that, she is the organizer of DisruptHR Columbus. I know your resume goes on further than that. Claire, why don't you share a little bit more about your background and yourself?
Yeah, just not to confuse folks and take the spotlight away from you, John. Organizer for Buffalo. I know you said Columbus.
Oh gosh, sorry. My bad. Organizer for DisruptHR Buffalo. I got DisruptHR Columbus on my mind.
No, absolutely. That's why we're here. Yeah, just didn't want to take the spotlight away from Willory at all. But yeah, thanks for having me. Obviously, it's very interesting times that we're not going to be together for the event on the 30th, but I'm so glad we're still going to be doing something fun. So in terms of, I guess, what I've been doing at home, obviously I'm very grateful to be able to do my job from home. Recruiting is on hold for the most part, so a lot of networking, pipelining, great opportunity to review some of our HR tech and improve some of that recruiting technology within our Workday module and things like that. I don't usually have as much time for, but at home I just have what I call my brindle bums. So I have a tortoiseshell cat, she's black and orange, and then a plot hound, and she's black and orange too, so I call them the brindle bums.
How do they get along with each other? Are they getting along with each other?
Oh yeah, they love each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Our dog has a little bit of separation anxiety. When we used to leave for work in the morning, she would shake and whine, and it would just take her some time to adjust. So it's going to be really hard going back to work because she loves being home with us all day. But yeah, just very happy to be home and healthy. So
I totally understand. Yeah, perspective for sure. Has your dog gotten sick of all the walks yet? I know there's been like this, a lot of things I saw on Twitter or memes and whatnot about like, okay, that's enough walks for one day, mom and dad.
Yeah, I love the one. I think it's like a boxer or a bulldog kind of laying on the ground, and it's like, WTF is a Rona. I've had so many walks. Yeah, we have a dog walker that comes every day at lunchtime because we're both usually gone for really long hours. So we've been keeping her for now because we're very lucky again that we can still afford it because we're working, and she really relies on her regular clients. So she's still getting her normal walk, and then we take her out as well. So it's not too much. She's very happy.
That's good. That's good. I know our dogs are getting a lot of walks.
Yeah.
We're also fortunate to live the community where we live in. It's got like, we live on a cul-de-sac, and it's like the perfect like 1/3 mile walk. So we kind of, I told my wife, I think we've done that walk like 14,000 times since we lived here. I did the math on how long we've been here and how many times we've done it, but more than normal now.
Yeah.
So Claire, tell me, I know you're heavily connected in the Buffalo community, and I know through our marketing chair, Bridget Klein, she participated in one of your DisruptHR events. And I was super excited to see that you applied to be a speaker for Columbus. And so we'll get into that in a bit. But I'm just curious as to all the things that you do, like what makes you tick and why do you do what you do?
Yeah, so not to go into my whole like life story, I guess, but essentially—
Please do. Yeah, we've got time. People are curious.
Okay, perfect. I just like to say what essentially brought me to the point in my career now, which I'm so grateful to have gotten here much faster, I guess, than I anticipated, has come to me a lot through obviously networking, but online networking, being involved on Twitter and LinkedIn, and being found for opportunities that I didn't think I would get, or it would take a while to achieve that. So I'm just super passionate about helping other people attract opportunities to themselves, by just learning how to show up better online and all the fun benefits that come from that. So recruiting has just naturally been a really good spot for me. I started my HR career in like a payroll and benefits role, which I always say I'm very, very grateful to have done. I love being able to say I'm a well-rounded HR pro and have had, employee relations and other experience, but I've always come back to recruiting. And now I feel like this is where I'm going to stay for a while, because I can incorporate those personal passions with others that are looking for new roles. And so it's been a lot of fun. I really like it. Suits me well.
Yeah, and you certainly stood out. I know you are active. I follow you on Twitter. Why don't you give out your Twitter handle just for the sake of those that are curious to find you that way?
Yeah, I feel like I need to change it to align with everything else I have going on, but it's _STR Claire. I know that's really weird. My maiden name was Stro, like the beer. So I always ended up having just STR and all my stuff, and I never changed it. I should probably make it Claire Petrie, but.
No need to apologize. Well, you probably would have to be like the real Claire Petrie, right? Now it's probably taken. Who knows? But
I don't know. I don't know if it's a common name or not.
Have to check it out. So I know these are certainly unique times. You referenced that a couple times, and obviously the reason why we're on this video chat is that we cannot do our Disrupt HR event on April 30th, but there is some new news coming on that very shortly, or you might have heard we're looking to get all, if not most of the speakers together to do a roundtable discussion on topics that you as a community are most interested in. So we've got 13 thought leaders, and we're looking to aggregate that group together to potentially, if probably not all, but some be on the call. But so tell me as it relates to that with COVID, what's been the impact to you personally? I know you're working at home virtually now, it sounds like. So what else? What other impacts that you've had? I know being in New York as well, which is kind of the state that's been most impacted in the U.S.
Yeah, it's craziness what's happening in the New York City area. I usually clarify for folks that Buffalo's like as far west as you can get. Sometimes they just hear New York and assume I'm somewhere near the city. But I've had a lot of friends and family in the healthcare facility that have traveled down that way to help out, which is really remarkable. So, I mean, personally, the only impact really has been just pay reductions with my husband's company. We're implementing kind of like a furlough schedule for our, I guess, kind of SG&A functions at Unifrac. So some of our manufacturing plants are still open, which is great. Our business is kind of a mix of essential and non-essential. So we do ceramic fiber products used in filtration and energy, which are the essential pieces. So we're actually involved a lot in medical filtration and medical kind of battery applications, which is great to have our business be kind of related to helping know what's going on. But we also do quite a bit of emission control work with our ceramic fibers for consumer automotive. So our customers in that aspect are not manufacturing right now. So we don't have a lot of demand. So in that area, we've done some furloughs as well. So personally, it's just been managing that furlough schedule within our HR team. But again, it could be a lot worse. Thankful to still be employed. It's just a very kind of limited reduction on the hours, but just helping our staff through, kind of the challenges that they have. But yeah, again, personally being in recruiting, we're stalled on that. So just trying to make the best use of our time now. So we know we're going to bounce back really quickly from this. So yeah, just spending a lot of time still doing what I love to do, getting to know people and network. So at least that's been nice. I can spend some time, still doing that, even though we don't have a lot of openings to fill right now.
Sure. And you'd mentioned that you're doing some work with your Workday HCM technology around things you might not have been able to do if your plate was full with open requisitions and job activity and whatnot. So do you mind sharing? I'm an HR tech kind of nerd in that regard. So when you said that, I kind of honed in on like, hey, wait a second. That sounds intriguing and interesting to me. Do tell more if you don't mind. Yeah,
absolutely. So Unifrac implemented Workday in, I believe it was like October 2018. So I joined in July 2019. So the recruiting module was functioning, but very bare bones. So it's been really fun to just research and turn on things that you may not have known existed. So for example, we just turned on our apply with LinkedIn feature, which, for other much bigger companies, it seems kind of like an essential thing. But for us, when we were just trying to kind of get it up and running, it was something extra that we were like, oh, we'll look into it later. So, so that's been cool. That's live on our career site now. So just kind of the general apply through our external career site, or, you know, have LinkedIn pre-populate all your info, which is really nice for the candidates. So we turned that on, just looking at the workflows that we've had. So when we move people from review to like recruiter phone screen, for example, we configured Workday to now have a questionnaire as part of that business process. So our HR team or central talent acquisition, myself, can put in our phone screen notes. So it prompts us, we can put them in right where, when we're on the phone with the candidate, and have the hiring manager review that. So in the past, we still just did a lot outside the system, like sending resumes to hiring managers via email and stuff. So it's just been a great time for me to be able to put together more guides for our HR team and our hiring managers on how to tag in the system, leave me notes, go in and review, you know, folks' stuff, and kind of see new fields that we've added. So just ways that we can continue to use it better.
Cool. No, those are all great. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I know in dealing with this every day with our clients, they don't have the time, right? So they don't have the time because they're so busy doing their everyday role. So way to take advantage of that time and having that opportunity. So I know you're super connected throughout the virtual HR community, as well as within Buffalo and beyond. And so I'm just curious as to what you're hearing from your fellow HR professionals. What are the things that they're struggling with, or how are they best supporting their employee populations as you go through and evaluate decisions that need to be made, like furloughing or layoffs, or, you know, obviously operating your business if essential, and keeping your employees safe. So what are you hearing out there in the community is common theme there?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of the folks in my HR community, in Buffalo, we have a lot of like healthcare, banking, and manufacturing. A lot of HR pros, I guess more in my immediate network, are the HR DOOs, Department of Ones. So it's been really like helpful and just important to support each other, because it's so hard. I've only been in an HR DOO role once for about a year, and it was a challenge to be the only person for all your entire employee population doing everything. So especially now with all the daily law changes and just everything going on, I give them a lot of credit. I'm obviously in more of a corporate role now with a bigger team, so I feel like I have more support and folks to kind of brainstorm with. But for some folks, you know, in the HR community, they really rely on all the great just content and helpful things that their connections are putting out on LinkedIn and Twitter and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been nice just to stay connected with everyone, offer support and ideas and suggestions where I can based on what we've done, and just be there for each other. So it's, I think, basically like the legal changes and deciding how to make those business decisions has been really hard, especially if you're the only HR person. So yeah, just try to stay connected and support my network where I can.
Yeah, we found that. I mean, it seemed like it was changing every day there for a period of time, and then the changes would be made, and then there'd be a change to the change that was made. So like, I know we were dealing with some of that with our internal staff, and with some of the HR consultants that we have, so we could stay up to date on what's going on. And it is unique, and it's stressful, right? You're having to look at business conditions changing, and obviously the concern of health and keeping people safe. So yeah, there's a lot of moving parts that are impacting people, and obviously people are the ones doing the work. I've actually spent quite a bit of time in the last month trying to share my experiences with working remotely, because our firm's been remote since day one for almost 10 years. And so trying to give, tips and tricks in that regard. But you add the balance of obviously spouses now working from home, and then some people having to take care of kids and all the schoolwork. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, I have a really good friend who's like the HR manager for a local hospital that we have here in the suburbs. And yeah, to your point, with everything going on like in her home life now as well, that's not typically always there. She's like working 12-hour days and still on call, even when she's not there. And yeah, it's just remarkable, the new challenges and what people are able to take on. And I just give those frontline workers just so much credit. So I do my part like I can to be there for her and listen and help out, just so they know, we're here if they need anything.
incredible how they run toward that, right? How they run toward that, and that's why they get all that, the support from the community, because many people right now are scared and they run the other way or don't do anything. So to your point, it's to those first responders and the people that are taking care of people in the hospitals and healthcare workers, it's amazing. So, well, that said, so I know COVID has had an impact on us getting together as a group, having done Disrupt HR Buffalo, how great of a community experience it is to fellowship in one night, as well as leading up to it and afterward. So I'm just curious, Claire, if you could just share your perspective of Disrupt HR, and then having organized it, and then maybe at the end share a little bit about your anticipation first time speaking. So
yeah, so I've been involved with planning Buffalo just as a volunteer for 2017, 2018. Was so grateful and just delighted to have the opportunity to be an organizer for 2019. So we have 3 awesome women in our community that started it off in 2016, and after like 3 or 4 years, they're starting to kind of rotate off. So I was just really glad again and honored that they thought of me, because it was so fun to be involved. And for our local SHRM chapter, BNHRA, I'm the professional development director, and all I do is plan our events. So it's like, this is kind of similar role in that aspect. My organizer role is just operations. So I coordinate all the sponsors, volunteers, and then the food, the venue, the AV logistics. So I really like coordinating things. So it's a good role for me. It's very exciting to be a part of. And I did always want to speak, but again, I don't know if it's just because I know I'm good at planning, so I've just wanted to stay with that. But I was like, it's really ready. I'm really ready to speak. I was so excited, obviously, to meet Bridget at the Buffalo event from your Willory team. I'm so glad she was able to make it. So when I heard that you guys were starting Columbus, I was like, this is a great time, because there's so much excitement around having your first event, and to be part of that original speakers group. And obviously it's a closer drive from Buffalo. So it seems like a perfect idea. And you guys have been so great to work with and have generated that community. So I'm so glad to have met all these great people from Ohio that I probably wouldn't have.
Right, exactly. There's a great forum through socializing through the social media, at the same time putting yourself out there and putting in an application. I know we were blessed to have over 100 people apply, and that was a daunting task to, as you know, right, picking the right speakers. And you certainly stood out. One of the few that were not part of the Columbus area speakers. So definitely appreciate you doing that. So yeah, like I said, we're going to be organizing a virtual event here come April 30th. We want to do something for the community, give us something to look forward to, a unique distraction. So there'll be more details to come on that, but specifically looking to get the speakers and showcasing our sponsors who've supported the event, and can't wait to do that. And then we'll figure out what we do at some point as it relates to getting the community together in a socialized way. Just going to do it obviously with safety concerns and respecting obviously the community's interests, as well as the well-being of people. So
yeah, I'm so glad you did these though. As an extrovert, I live for like my daily Zoom calls with the community. So I'm so glad that you're still bringing us together and putting out this really positive content during this time.
Yeah, thank you. I just thought about, like, when this first happened, like, I'm a huge sports fan, I'm a fanatic Browns fan, and love the Indians and the Cavs, and really any sports. I'll watch any sports. So when, like, after like the first 3 or 4 days, like, usually I turn on ESPN, it's like all this, like, here's the scores or who won that game. And over time, there were literally like no games, like, at all.
Yeah.
And for me, like, because of the fact that we're working from home, we don't have as much socialization. There isn't, unless you're like into some season on Netflix or whatever it is, right? What do we have to look forward to? And part of me was thinking, like, that there isn't anything like live that people are doing anymore, because of the fact that, you can't get together, or there's no specific end date as to how we'll all get back to some kind of original normalcy. So to me, it was like, we got to do something. And if people don't show up, then I was wrong, and that's okay. but it seems like people have shown interest in doing it, and it's unique distraction. And I know for myself, the few times I've done these virtual happy hours through Zoom, they've been great. Like people have been smiling and laughing and showing off their drinks or their dogs or their kids or their pets or whatever. And so I'm looking forward to what it comes to be here in about, well, 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it reaches a couple people and makes their day, it's worth it.
Right, exactly. Well, cool, Claire. Well, that's all I have on my end. I appreciate you joining us. Continued safety and please continue to do what you're doing. I know it may not seem like a lot, but I know it's impacting people in a positive way, and that hope and energy is paramount at these times. So this is John Bernadovich again from Willory. I look forward to continuing to stay connected with all of you through Disrupt HR Columbus and our other social media channels. So until next time, we'll see you.